Today I'm going to be starting a new feature series here on my channel that I've been working on and thinking about and wanting to produce for quite some time, and it's called Three's a Charm. Essentially, the idea of this video series is that I will share with you 3 productivity tools or tips or strategies that I've been using and loving that I would recommend that you also think about integrating into your daily life as well if you're interested in upping your productivity. So today is going to be the first installment of this series, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Hello, my charmed ones, and welcome back to my channel for another video. And if this is your first time with me, I would just like to say welcome. My name is Alexis, but I'm also known as MissTrenchcoat all across the internet. I'm an online entrepreneur who designs and sells digital productivity tools to help you work smarter, not harder. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'll go ahead and leave some links down in the description box where you can check out more of my work online, and feel free to download some of my latest free productivity tools over at thecharmedshop.com. So before we jump into this video, I would just like to take a moment to show you guys my new sweatshirt that I got off of Etsy that says all black everything. If you guys know me, you know this is like totally my thing. I absolutely love this. And I'll go ahead and leave a link down below in the description box. If you guys are interested, definitely check it out. So on to the topic of this video, Three's a Charm. These are the 3 things I've been loving for my productivity that have really had a really phenomenal effect on what I've been doing and how I've been feeling and how I've been approaching my daily work and life every day. So the first of these is actually a big purchase that I made earlier at the beginning of January, and that is a new mattress set. So the mattress that I've been sleeping on previously was at least 12 years old. And so it was getting up there in age, and they say that you're supposed to change your mattress out every 10 years. Now, I know that that's kind of just like a generic rule of thumb, but ever since we moved into this house, we really wanted to go ahead and upgrade our bed because the 12-year-old mattress that we had been sleeping on was really starting to get very beat up. Now, I'll be really honest with you guys. Before I went into the process of purchasing a mattress, right? This is like the first real mattress purchase I feel like I've ever made. I feel like such an adult, bought a house, bought a real mattress. Before I purchased this mattress, I did a lot of research, and I was definitely in the camp before making this purchase that your mattress really only could do so much for you. Obviously, if you have a terrible mattress, it's falling apart, it's really going to have a negative effect on your sleep. But I kind of didn't really think that the mattress that you bought would really make that big of a difference. If you were someone who didn't have a problem sleeping to begin with, then getting a nicer mattress may not really change things for you. But after making this purchase, after sleeping on this new mattress for the entire month, more or less, of January, because we had it delivered the first couple of days of January, now that I've been sleeping on this mattress, I can absolutely say that your mattress matters. And having a really nice mattress really can help with your productivity and your energy level, not just in the morning when you get up, but throughout the day as well. So we ended up purchasing a pretty nice mattress, I would say, and we went to a department store that was having a sale on mattresses, because if you didn't know, January is a really big sale month for mattresses. So I intentionally planned after the holidays in January, when the mattress sales hit, we were going to go look for a new mattress, and we went to a local department store that was having a great sale, and we laid on a bunch of mattresses for 15 to 20 minutes at a time and determined what worked for us and what style of mattress we wanted. We ended up with a Stearns & Foster extra firm pillow top. So I think that's what it was. It had a name, but I don't remember the style name that it was. And I have my receipt, but it doesn't say it on there. So I'm sorry about that. But it doesn't really matter, because the mattress that I bought may not be the mattress that you need, because everybody's different. For example, when we were trying out the mattresses, we would literally lay on some of them and immediately get off and be okay, that's not the mattress for me. And that's how we kind of figured out that we needed firm or extra firm, because the softer mattresses were totally not doing it for us. We also didn't like memory foam, like personally for like our style of sleeping and things like that. So, you know, the process of purchasing a mattress, it is an investment. It definitely is something that takes some time for you to go and like lay on different mattresses and see what works for you. But I would highly recommend that if you're someone who was in the same boat that I was in, where my mattress was 12 years old, right? So it was time for me to replace it. I would highly suggest looking into getting a new mattress because literally I wake up in the morning without an alarm, which I always do wake up without an alarm, but I've been waking up so much earlier. It's kind of crazy. Like I wake up at like 7 a.m. and I don't feel the need to like lay in bed. I immediately get up because I'm super refreshed. And so the same thing, like going to bed at night, like I would have never said that I was someone who had trouble sleeping. Like literally, if you sit me on a couch, if you sit me in like a comfortable chair, like I will fall asleep. Like I don't have a problem with falling asleep at night. But I guess I didn't realize that like my mattress really was doing me no favors. I did have some like back pain that honestly, I had just assumed like, Alexis, you're getting older. You have a little bit of back pain. Like this is normal, right? No, the back pain went away when I got a new mattress that was right for my body and great for me to sleep on. So when I go to bed at night, we like fall asleep immediately. It's wonderful. I have been sleeping like a baby every night and my energy level has been through the roof. Like literally, I thought I was just, you know, like getting older. It was harder for me to like stay awake during the day. Like I can't believe the things I was telling myself that were like, this is normal, Alexis. No, it wasn't normal. As soon as I got that new mattress, I was like a whole new person. So if you are someone, again, who is in need of a new mattress, I highly suggest going through the process, taking your time, trying out different mattresses, because it could have a phenomenal effect on your energy and your productivity in the day. I would also highly recommend too that if you're someone who maybe you know that your mattress is like 7 or 8 years old, and so you know that a mattress purchase is like down the road for you in the next few years, I also think that it might be a really good idea for you to go out sooner rather than later and test out a bunch of different mattresses. Like I said, we ended up buying a Stearns & Foster, which is a pretty expensive mattress. I think we paid with the box spring like around $2,500. So this isn't like a small purchase by any means, but I thought it was an amazing investment because I'm going to keep this thing for the next 10 years. And if it makes me feel like super energized in the morning, it's totally worth it. So I would definitely suggest if you know that you're going to need a new mattress coming in the next few years, that you do a little bit of shopping around now, see what you like, test out a bunch of different mattresses, because you may find that a nicer, like a higher end mattress that is like a few $1,000s, you know, is maybe what you want and like what you need for like optimum health and productivity in your life. But obviously, like not everybody has like $2,500 to like just drop on a mattress like at a moment's notice. So if you could do a little bit of research sooner rather than later and see what it is that you want and see the price point that you're going to end up with, I think that that would be a good way to start like budgeting and saving for a better mattress now, so that you can have that mattress that you want and get that better investment. I just cannot tell you guys, like if you guys can't tell about like how excited I am about talking about my mattress in this video, the mattress is amazing. I absolutely love it. And it's like the #1 productivity thing that I've done for myself in a very long time. And like, it's going to be like my favorite thing for like probably like the next 5 to 7 years, right? And then, you know, maybe it'll start to get lumpy or something, but I'm so excited about my mattress. Like definitely if you are someone who's been holding off on a mattress purchase, seriously, go out there and get yourself a new mattress. It could literally change your productivity overnight. Okay, so the second thing that I want to talk to you guys about that has been really helping me transform my productivity is a book that I read in January, or I should say I listened to it on tape because as you guys know, I use Audible. I love listening to books on tape. It's so much easier for me than having to read. And I'll leave a link down below in the description box. That is where you can get 2 free audiobooks from Audible if you sign up for their trial. And like, it's like no strings attached. You legit get 2 books and you get to keep them even if you don't continue with the service. So if you want to try it out, I'll leave the link and you absolutely can do that. But the book is called The Marshmallow Test by Walter Mischel. So this book is based on the premise and really based around the Stanford marshmallow experiment that you may have heard of before. If not, it was essentially an experiment designed to test self-control. And what they did was they took a bunch of kids at various ages, put them in a room, put a marshmallow in front of them, and as they explain in the book, it wasn't always a marshmallow. Sometimes it could have been like cookies, like other types of candies, like whatever it was. But I guess they started with a marshmallow. So they put a marshmallow in front of this kid, right, with a buzzer. And they told the kid that they were going to leave them in there for like 15, 20 minutes. And if the researcher came back and the child had not eaten the marshmallow, they would be rewarded by getting 2 marshmallows. But if the child had decided that they absolutely wanted to eat the marshmallow before like the time limit was up, they could press the buzzer, the researcher would come in and they could eat their marshmallow, but they only got that one, right? So essentially they were trying to test to see like what motivated self-control in children. Obviously, some children were able to wait it out and some children were not. But this whole concept of like studying self-control and kind of understanding and researching why people are motivated to make something happen that may have better results for them in the long run, like productivity and things like that, right? When we're trying to change our habits and our routines, like things that I talk about here on the channel frequently, what are those motivating factors and what are things that people can do, different strategies that people can use to help set themselves up for success. So this book was right up my alley. I absolutely loved it. It was a little bit maybe like more geared towards the science. Like they didn't talk like in science terminology like a lot, but if you guys know, one of my favorite books that I've already read is The Power of Habit from Charles Duhigg. And this book was a very similar feel to The Power of Habit, where it was a lot of research, a lot of case studies, and examining different reasons why people were able to either hold off on eating the marshmallow or they felt compelled to eat it and they didn't care that they weren't going to get the second one. And it really goes beyond children and goes beyond marshmallows and sitting in a room and like waiting to get a second marshmallow. But what I loved about this book that I find absolutely fascinating is an entire conversation they were having on the topic of executive function, which is kind of like a psychological term, I guess, for a person's ability to essentially control themselves and almost like dictate like their success in different things that they may do. It's basically your ability to govern yourself, like be the executive of your own life. So this is something that I'm absolutely fascinated about. And I know that I have talked to some of you in the comments before, and I know that I have some friends who are like psychologists and therapists like in the community. And I just find this topic so fascinating because for me as someone who literally like studies productivity so that I can develop tools and, share strategies and make content that helps you guys to learn how to, change your life and make yourself a success, stick to your to-do list, things like that. This topic is really something I'm interested in. So if that's something that you're interested in as well, you may find this book to be incredibly insightful as well. And something that I thought was very interesting about the book was that when they summed up like everything that they had learned about self-control and executive function and people's ability to like make the right choices in the short term that were going to have better results for them in long term. They summed it up like humans are unpredictable. And although through the research that they did on the various studies and different projects that they talk about in the book, the researchers like determined that although they could predict the general outcomes for like a majority of people in different situations, they couldn't predict the individual actions that one person would take. So they could say that, if we did this, if we tested people for this, the general result would be this. But they couldn't say that like Alexis sitting as a test subject, because she did X in an experiment, they couldn't predict what I would do next, like once I left the experiment, right? So I find this to be really fascinating because I think that, it really goes to show you that I think that people do not need to be defined by where they are right now or their past, you can always change your life and you can really be very unpredictable. So I actually consider this a really optimistic result, like that is basically, you know, been shown in this book, that I think people can change and I think that people can have control over their life and make things happen for themselves. So this is a topic that I really feel like I want to dive really deep into like this year, and maybe share some, you know, things that I'm working on and thinking about in terms of productivity and how these sorts of studies and research projects can really, you know, give us tips and tricks for how we can live a more successful life. So what I wanted to say to you watching this is if you're someone who is also interested in this topic, maybe you're a therapist, a psychiatrist. I know that I've talked to a few of you in the comments of different videos who have brought up the ideas of, you know, executive function, the internal locus of control, things like that. Definitely send me a message because I really want to dive deep into like personally researching these topics a little bit more, I think, like once the spring comes around, because I really find this fascinating. And I think that if my job here on YouTube, if I have any job at all with YouTube, it is to do my best to research these sorts of topics and give you guys what I see as being really reasonable real-world expectations and strategies to help you guys apply what these studies and all of these different research projects are basically teaching the scientific community about human behavior. So that's what I would like to focus on a lot this year. So send me a message if you're also interested in this topic, and maybe you can suggest some other books for me to read, even if they're like textbooks. Like I'll break out a textbook and like read it. I don't care. This stuff really fascinates me. Okay, and the third thing that I want to talk to you guys about today is a productivity tool accessory, and that is my Apple Watch. I don't know if you guys can see this. I shared a picture of this on Instagram, but I got one of these Apple Watches kind of like on a whim on Black Friday when I went to Target to go buy like a big screen TV for the living room. They were having a really great sale on these Apple Watches. So I got one, right? I wasn't like intending to get one necessarily, but I've kind of always been interested in them like a little bit. You guys know I'm like an Apple fangirl. So the fact that I didn't have one always kind of like nagged me. But now that I have this thing, I have to tell you, I don't know like how I lived without it before. I absolutely love that it has a couple of different features that are really useful to me. So number one, obviously the ability to have like alerts and things come to my phone is really awesome. I love that. I'm also really big into the whole, like I can text message from my watch and I can make phone calls from my watch, and my phone just kind of needs to be like in my vicinity. I find that to be very interesting. But there are also some really cool apps that basically are like reminders for you to like stand up once an hour and kind of like walk around, which for me, working in an office, like working from home, I can totally just sit in one place for a few hours in front of the computer and it's like no thing to me. So having my watch like remind me of that once an hour is pretty awesome. Like I absolutely love that. Oh, and it also tells me to like take a breather too. Like I get like these mindfulness alerts where it tells me to like breathe. It's like, I don't know if it's like, I don't know what setting I have it on, and I probably can change it, but like maybe like once every few hours, it like reminds me to take a moment for like my breath and just sit there. And the haptic feedback, which is kind of like the vibration on the watch, kind of like guides you to do like a breathing exercise. And it is so awesome. Like I absolutely love it because no matter how busy I am, I'm getting these alerts and it's kind of jolting me back to reality to make sure that I'm taking care of myself physically. And, you know, in that mindfulness, like breath sort of awareness way. So I really think that it's had like a very positive impact on like my stress and things like that. And I know this is kind of like silly things, but I think it's really pretty cool and really fascinating. And I'm really excited to see like what other cool apps are developed for the Apple Watch because I think the sky's the limit really with how they can get really clever with your productivity through your watch. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing a video all about my watch because I did get some questions about like the bands and different accessories that I'm using for it. So keep an eye out for that. I may do something like that coming up soon, but yeah, that is the third thing that I've been loving. So that is it for my three is a charm. I hope you guys like this concept of this series. Let me know what you think about it down in the comment section. But before we go, I do have one little announcement that I wanted to make sure I included in this video. And that is that I have scheduled a new free webinar for online business called Entrepreneurship is the New Black. That is what I'm calling this webinar. And it's happening February 21st, 2017. And I'm actually going to be doing this like webinar a few times from the 21st until I think March 7th, I think is like the close of that webinar. So if you're someone who is interested in an online business and you guys have been maybe following me for my business strategies and tips and things like that, and maybe you didn't get in on the webinar I hosted at the end of 2016, that was how to create a profitable online business, I would definitely love for you guys to sign up and get more information on the webinar and access to the replay and Q&As and things like that. So I'll leave a link down below in the description box where you guys can sign up for that info list. And I hope to see many of you at that webinar. So I hope this video was interesting to you, and if you liked it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos by me, and until next time, bye-bye!